Here's how you can win your ex back right now. When you want your ex back, it can feel impossible. But the truth is, if you put your feelings aside, it's just a problem like any other. And that means it can be solved just like any other problem, by understanding the situation, making a plan, and following through with it. That's what I'm going to help you do today. Hi, I'm Dave Barker, and this is the Breakup Corner. We offer you the best advice to get through your breakup and get your ex back, period. All the information we share is backed by psychology and research, and that's what sets it apart. It really works. So if that's something you can use, then please like this video and subscribe to my channel for more. Now, let's get to the good stuff. Here's tip number 1 to make your ex come running back to you. First thing is to take your time and be deliberate. So this seems like a simple piece of advice, and it is, but it's something that so many people get wrong and screw up their chances permanently. So before you take any steps towards reconnecting with your ex, make sure that you're sticking to the timeline that I lay out in this video. Because here's the thing, most people in your situation, when you're facing the possibility of the person you love slipping out of your life forever, are feeling kind of desperate. And I totally understand that. It's a natural reaction after you've been dumped or gone through a tough breakup. You desperately want to do something, anything, to get your ex to change their mind and take you back. And that kind of thinking can get you into trouble. You probably think, I don't care how it looks, I just want to do whatever it takes to get them back. But the truth is that running back to your ex and telling them that you want them back isn't going to help you connect with them. It's only going to push them away. Not only should you not rush the process, you actually can't rush the process of changing your ex's mind about breaking up. It just doesn't work that way. When you try this, all you're doing is showing them your desperation. Desperation is an attraction killer. Now trust me on this. I've seen many people make this mistake despite my best efforts to talk them out of it. If you appear too desperate, if you try to push your ex by contacting them too frequently or begging and pleading with them, it's only going to make your situation much worse. So take a step back for a minute and think about things from your ex's perspective. Would you be attracted to someone who wouldn't stop bothering you? Would you be attracted to someone who seems to have nothing else going on in their life except chasing after you? Would you be more or less likely to want to take someone back if they begged and pleaded and tried to talk you into giving them another chance? Obviously, the answer is no. You're only going to push them further away. So this is something you need to keep in mind throughout the entire process of winning back your ex, which is why I've made the very first tip in this video. Never, ever get too excited or too eager around your ex. Never force things or try to rush them. Always leave them wanting more. And if you find yourself starting to slip, return to this advice and recommit to taking it slow. The second thing is don't let your ex know that you're jealous. Now, you don't ever want to outwardly display any kind of jealousy around your ex. Now, I know that it's painful and it's frustrating to hear rumors that your ex may have gone on a date with someone new, and I know that you desperately want to ask them about it, but please don't do it. Act like you don't give a flying fuck about your ex's love life since the breakup. And don't give any sense that you're jealous about anything, even if you're feeling the complete opposite on the inside. Instead, pretend you don't care at all about who your ex is seeing or what they're even doing with their spare time. This, along with the previous tip, are all about your mental game. And now I know how hard this breakup has been. It's tested you and caused you to act out in ways you never expected. It's shown you just how important this person is to you, and that without them, you almost feel like you can't go on. But you need to know that you can go on. You do have the strength within yourself to survive this no matter what happens, and you need to tap into that if you're going to win them back. And the first step is to project confidence and security, and that means avoiding drama, which includes jealousy. Remember, you need to keep things fun for your ex, and jealousy isn't fun, and it certainly isn't attractive. So do your absolute best to never show any kind of jealousy around your ex. The third thing is to be honest with yourself about your chances. Unfortunately, not every relationship can or even should be salvaged. Sometimes things might be so broken that it's just not possible to ever realistically have a chance of getting back together. Now, I know that sucks to hear, but it's the truth. Many relationships can and should be revived, but in some cases, it's just not realistic to try. So how do you know if you've still got a chance of turning things around with your ex? Honestly, the best way to find out this is to take the free quiz at xbackquiz.com. Just answer a few questions about your breakup situation, and the quiz will evaluate your answers and generate a comprehensive report breaking down your chances and where you stand with your ex right now. Again, take the quiz for free at xbackquiz.com and see for yourself whether there's still hope for winning back your ex. Now, if the quiz says your situation is hopeless, which is usually fairly uncommon, but it does happen sometimes, then please think long and hard about whether you should continue to pursue your ex. In dire situations like these, it's usually best to start moving on and focus on finding someone new rather than continuing to chase after an ex who isn't right for you or isn't even willing to give you a second chance. If your quiz is in the low 60s or above, say if you score around a 62 or a 63, that indicates that you do still have a chance. If you score above 75, you have plenty of reason to be optimistic, and you should still be able to get back together, assuming you play your cards right from this point onwards. Number 4, use no contact consistently and effectively. Now let's talk about no contact. And I know you've already heard about this strategy many times before. And do you know why this technique is something that I recommend so frequently? It's because it works. It works extremely well in the vast majority of breakup situations. If you don't want to take my word for it, please check out any of my other YouTube videos about no contact. I'll put some links in the description. I'll get emails on a daily basis from viewers who've used no contact and ended up back with their ex. Now let me explain briefly why no contact is so powerful. So first, it's because this strategy essentially shocks your ex into learning what life is like without you. Instead of slowly fading out of your ex's life, you're forcing them to experience it cold turkey. And they wouldn't be able to just call you and chat whenever they miss you. And they won't have that feeling of comfort knowing that you're still around anytime they want to talk or hang out. It's critical that you give your ex some kind of shock treatment rather than letting them go slowly and getting used to life without you. Secondly, no contact is the opposite of what your ex is actually expecting you to do. So most people, and this is their natural reaction after a breakup, tend to cling to their ex for as long as humanly possible. They reach out regularly, they try to stay just friends, and they just generally end up serving as an emotional dumping ground for their ex. By doing the opposite of what your ex is expecting you to do, you're taking control of the situation, shifting the balance of power into your favor. Now, when you engage in a period of no contact, you have the power to decide when your ex gets to talk with you or even see you. They're suddenly facing a situation they didn't anticipate when they planned to break up. Third, it gives your ex time to let go of negative memories and emotions. As I've mentioned in other videos previously, all humans have a natural tendency to forget bad memories and let go of negative thoughts and emotions after a certain period of time. This is actually a natural coping mechanism that's evolved over thousands of years of human evolution. We can't dwell on negatives for too long, or else we'll spend our lives in a state of perpetual depression. So, use that to your advantage by giving your ex time to start forgetting about the negative aspects of your relationship. This will, given some time, happen on its own without you having to do anything than engage in this period of no contact. Studies have shown that this will peak right around 30 days after the breakup. So by employing a 30-day no contact period, you're allowing enough time for those negative emotions and memories to fade into the back of your ex's mind. I like to say that this is basically like resetting your ex's brain to a neutral state. Additionally, another benefit to no contact is that it gives you time to chill out and reset your own emotions. You definitely don't want to be acting on emotion when you talk with your ex, and you often can't think straight during the early stages of a breakup. So by ignoring your ex for a few weeks, you put yourself back into a better frame of mind. Remember, your mental game is the most important thing right now. By the end of the no contact period, you'll be far less likely to act desperate or say something to your ex that might hurt your chances or push them away unintentionally. Lastly, no contact allows you some time to focus on yourself. During no contact, you need to be keeping busy. Meeting new friends, living an interesting, exciting life are great things to do in this period. This will make you a more interesting, more appealing person to your ex when you do begin talking to them again. and it will put you in a better position to re-attract them once the no contact period has ended. Again, the key takeaway is this: no contact is a very powerful and effective strategy in almost every breakup situation. Number 5, use your friends and family as your support system. Okay, I know what you're thinking. How the hell is hanging out with my friends and family going to help me get my ex back? Well, just hear me out for a second, because this is actually something that I've started to recommend more and more because I've come to see how valuable it actually is. First of all, hanging out with friends and family is usually enjoyable. It's a great way to keep your mind off of your ex and off of the breakup and help yourself live in the moment. This is especially true if you avoid talking about your ex when you're with your friends. So just try to focus on having fun. Secondly, you'll quickly find that hanging out with your friends and family can be a powerful tool for rebuilding your own confidence and self-esteem. Your friends and family like you, at least I hope they do, and hanging out with people that enjoy your company is a great ego boost. It will make you feel more confident about yourself, help you realize that you're an awesome catch for anyone else of the opposite sex, including your ex, who would be crazy to let someone as well-liked as you just walk out of their life. This is also a great time to reconnect with old friends that maybe you haven't talked to so much lately. If there's someone you're used to hang out with regularly that you've recently fallen out of touch with, reach out and spark up a conversation. Revive that old friendship, or just try to make new friends. Again, this is a confidence booster, but it's also a way to come up with new things to talk about with your ex once you see them or begin talking to them again. You can tell them about how you recently saw an old friend, talk about the plans you made with this old friend, and so on and so forth. Please, take my word on this one. Being around other people in social settings, whether it's just reconnecting with old friends or hanging out with family more often, is going to help your own state of mind and improve your chances of getting back together with your ex. Number 6, use your ex's psychology to your advantage. Now, I'm not talking about anything really egregious here, guys, when I say using psychology. I don't mean lying to your ex or manipulating them in some way. I just mean that it can be very useful to use basic human psychology to your own advantage to win your ex back. I'll give you 2 examples here. So the first is texting. When you get a text from your ex out of the blue, wait an hour or 2 before you reply. Remember, you're playing the role of a busy, confident person who is ready to move on. So if you're willing to wait a while before replying to your ex's texts, it will make them wonder what you're doing and subconsciously assume that you're out doing fun and interesting stuff without them. Also related to texting, let your ex send the last message in a back and forth exchange. Again, this isn't really sneaky or immoral stuff. You're just making a small effort to shift the balance. It's a power play of sorts, where you're asserting your own value as a person and your confidence with life in general. This is attractive behavior for your ex, and it will subtly and subconsciously shift the way they think about you. It'll become more positive. The second is about jealousy. So you need to do something that will make your ex jealous that they won't know was intended to make them jealous. So this is the tricky part. If your ex can tell you're doing something to make them jealous, then it's not going to work. They need to fear that they've lost you forever. If you're obviously acting for their benefit, then they'll never get this impression, and they might even be angry and feel manipulated. So what's the best way to pull this off? Well, to do this, in my opinion, is to use social media. Chances are your ex is still checking up on you regularly, even if you can't tell. So my advice is to post something that you know they'll see, that implies you might even be dating someone new. Just don't do a full-on post like, check out my new boyfriend or girlfriend. You want to imply something without actually saying it. Plus, if it seems like you're in something serious, then this is going to scare your ex off because they'll think they'll miss their chance. Again, it's a tricky balance. You need to post something that will make their mind run wild. So, for example, maybe just a quick post of a bouquet of flowers. They'll think, who are those for? Or, who did they get them from? Or maybe just a picture of you with your arm around a hottie with no other explanation. They'll think, is that their friend or something more? And that's all it takes to really impact your ex's mental state. Even if they don't reach out, you can bet that they'll be thinking about it all week and wondering if they've maybe made the wrong choice. These thoughts put your ex under some pressure to decide if they're sure about the breakup. And often this can be enough on its own to make your ex decide to ask you for a second chance. This kind of urgency is critical to winning back your ex. So it certainly helps if you're willing to use a tactic like this to your own advantage. So in summary, if you're willing to use a bit of basic human psychology to your advantage by playing some sneaky but harmless mind games on your ex, it's gonna help your cause. Number 7, make your conversations with your ex short and fun. So you've finished no contact and you start to open lines of communication with your ex again. You're exchanging messages or phone calls and then eventually hanging out with your ex in person. You want them to take you back. Now, you try to talk about the relationship. You rehash some old drama or disagreements from when you were still together. Maybe you're just doing this to try to explain to your ex how you've changed since the breakup, or how things will be different once you get back together, but this kind of approach is 100% guaranteed to ruin your chances. Trust me, people, if you want your ex back, you need to make every conversation and hangout session with them enjoyable. You want your ex to end a conversation thinking to themselves, well, that was fun. You want your texts to make your ex smile or laugh as they read them. What you don't want, under any circumstances, is to remind your ex of the problems that plagued your old relationship. You do not want them to end a conversation thinking to themselves, ugh, more drama again. You want your ex to have a good time when they see you or talk to you, and not to be reminded of old problems or disagreements from the past. So please don't ever, ever try to bring up serious relationship topics with your ex until you're fully back together. Keep it light, fun, and enjoyable. Number 8, understand what you have control over and what you don't. So this one is pretty self-explanatory, but you should try your absolute best to avoid worrying about things that are simply out of your control. Did you hear a rumor your ex has been dating someone new? Well, there's nothing you can do to change that, so it's out of your control, and therefore not even worth stressing about or even thinking about. Are you worried that your ex isn't posting sad song lyrics and quotes on social media after your breakup? Are you worried that might mean they're not missing you and that they've already moved on? Well, that is not a useful train of thought. It's completely out of your control. You can't change how they're feeling or accurately read into what their actions mean. Remember, you're not a mind reader. That means it's not worth worrying about, so push it out of your mind and please try to focus on things that you actually can control. Number 9, stick to the script and keep moving forward. Okay, my final tip today is a very important one. Since you're watching this video right now, I'm assuming you're doing your homework. You're learning how to get a second chance with your ex by researching online and watching videos just like this one. That is great. I applaud you for taking action to make sure you do things properly to maximize your chances. And you'll get a lot of very savvy, very effective advice and tips from breakup coaches just like myself. Not all the stuff you'll read online is correct or trustworthy, but much of it is good advice that will actually help you. And you can definitely trust the strategies and techniques that I teach here on my YouTube channel. While learning and researching is great, you need to actually apply these techniques in order for them to actually work. You can't just learn about the effective traits of no contact and then only apply it for 5 days before you give up and start spamming your ex. No contact doesn't work if you only do it for 5 days. And the same is true for almost all of what I teach. You need to actually apply what you learn in videos like this one, exactly the way I describe, in order for it to be fully effective. If you don't have the self-discipline to stick with it and have faith in these proven techniques, then they're not going to work. There you have it, folks. That's 9 pieces of advice to get your ex back as quickly as possible. I hope you learned something, and I hope you're able to get out there and use these tips to get a second chance with your ex. As always, if you have a quick question or a bit of feedback, please drop me a comment below the video. I read every single one, and I try to reply to as many of them as possible. Thank you for liking and subscribing and watching the channel. We'll see you again soon.